I was talking with Ryan. I said, Ryan, it's all about getting stage time, stage time, stage time. Before I knew it, Ryan was out in Riverside at open mic night, volunteering to speak wherever he could because he had a dream. And tonight, you all get to be a part of that journey and his dream. I'd like to invite Ryan Odman. She's my hero. She's my hero. Ryan Odman.
Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I would like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath my wings. Ooh. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests, we all have a hero in our lives. The heroes I'm referring to are the ones that place good morals in your life. These heroes could be your family, best friend, teacher, pastor, boss, or anybody that's made a lasting impression on you. I believe that these heroes affected us by being the good role models in our lives. For some of you, there may have been a family member that inspired you to believe in yourself and achieve great things. For others of you, there may have been a best friend that showed you the value of being there for one another through tough times. Or maybe there was a teacher that showed you the value of being patient with people. There's a number of scenarios when our heroes affected us, in the biggest ways and smallest ways. Who was that hero that made that positive impact in your life? I invite you to think about that person right now and how that person made you feel. My hero was an amazing lady. She was born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica, had a spirit of compassion, always loved to give her time and effort to be around the people that she cared about, had a spirit of forgiveness, even towards the people that didn't deserve her forgiveness. It didn't matter though, because she loved them regardless. She was a hero to many, especially her family. Her name was Gloria Elaine Hamilton. And not only was she my hero, but I'm honored to call her my grandmother. Grandma made a powerful impact in my life. So powerful that I honestly don't know where my life would be if it were not for her. Sadly, she's no longer here with us. Grandma passed away 6 years ago. I find that crazy because she's been gone for 6 years, but yet her legacy still impacts me to this very moment. I'll be sharing with you 3 stories about the 3 principles Grandma instilled in my life. Those 3 principles were: have faith, have courage, and have manners. I have a confession. I'm really embarrassed to say this, but since I was a little boy, I've had this fear, a big fear, of bullfrogs. Now I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. How could this tall, dark, handsome man be afraid of some little bullfrogs? Well, I grew up with the idea that if those ugly, blobby-looking things peed on me, let alone touched me, then I was going to get warts and this disease called leprosy. I know the leprosy part sounds kind of extreme now. But through that phobia, my grandma taught me to have courage. I was 6 years old, living in Florida. It was my mom, grandma, and I. We were driving home one night. And as we're driving towards the garage, in my mind, it looked like over 100 bullfrogs hopping in front of our garage. My heart then started pounding with raging fear. I then said, Mom, Grandma, I don't know if you noticed, but there's too many bullfrogs here in this place. I'm gonna sleep in the car tonight. Just go inside without me. My mom then said, Ryan, don't you want some dinner? I then said, Mom, can you please bring the dinner here to the car? Please. She then said the one word that we kids do not like to hear our parents say. No. All the parents in this room, you probably know this word. It starts with an N and it ends with an O. No. Say it with me, Michael. No. I was so devastated, and to top it off, hungry. But I was not going to get out of that car and face all those ugly bullfrogs. My grandma then looked at me being scared. Then she looked at those bullfrogs. And then she looked at me again with his face like, is this really my grandson acting this way? My grandmother then said in her thick Jamaican accent, Right, man, you're being foolish. Get out of the car. A big boy like you afraid of bullfrogs? No, you... My grandma then got out of the car. She took off her shoe. She walked towards those bullfrogs and she said, Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here! Those bullfrogs hopped away. I was just amazed at how she did it. I was just like, yeah, Grandma. Woo! You go, girl. Every time I think back to that story, I realize something. My grandma scared of those bullfrogs. It's just like life. You see, you and I, we have fears in our lives. We all have a bullfrog of some sort. Whether it's money, relationships, or going after our dreams and becoming better people, there's these fears that come at us, making us feel that we can't do it. When in actuality, we can. My grandma showed me with the power of courage that we can overcome our fears with shooing them away. And it was so mind-blowing for me to hear that, because I was magnifying those bullfrogs in my mind when my grandma just showed me that I'm the bigger person. I have the power to overcome my fears and my bullfrogs. We have the power of courage to overcome our fears and bullfrogs. I'm going to Nicaragua this summer, and I hear there's a lot of bullfrogs out there. So get that power of courage ready for them. My hero taught me to have courage. What did your hero teach you? It was Christmas 2010. My mother and I, we were living in North Carolina. And we were getting ready to travel 700 miles to go see Grandma in Florida. It was always an exciting time to see Grandma. Always. Seeing that joyful smile of hers, her talking about the good old days, or the times where she cooked eggs, bacon, and plantains for me. It was always awesome seeing her. The worst times of visiting Grandma, though, was when it was time to say goodbye to her from our visits. But Christmas 2010, it was going to be different. When we were saying goodbye to Grandma, my grandmother called my name saying, Ryan, I need to speak to you. And I see her crying hysterically. I'm not sure why she was crying. So I get a chair, and I just sit right next to her and I say, What's wrong, Grandma? Why are you crying? She then said in her own words, Ryan, I enjoy seeing the man that you're becoming. I believe you're going to be doing a lot of great things in the future. But I need you to make me one promise. If I don't see you again, please be the good gentleman with manners towards your mother and sister. Get good grades in school. Do your chores. And remember, I taught you how to pray. And just know, through whatever happens, Ryan, I would always love you. Can you please promise me that, Ryan? Can you please promise me that? And I remember as tears were falling down my face, I told my grandma, of course I promise you. I love you too. And that's a story that still lasts with me to this very day. That conversation, when she said those 6 words, if I never see you again, it just made my hands just cram, because it indicated to me that my grandma's life was coming to an end. And sure enough, it did. 5 months after that Christmas, my grandmother passed away due to heart failure at the age of 92. May 3rd, 2011, 6 years ago to this day. Even though it hurts me at times to know that grandma's gone, even though it hurts me at times to know that if I ever travel to Florida again, she won't be there, and even though it hurts me at times to know I can't get that phone call from her again, I get the sense of peace within my heart, knowing that I've been keeping her promise to be that good gentleman with manners. Sometimes I fall short. I'm not always the perfect gentleman, but it's okay, because I still strive to be that good gentleman with manners. Being the good son to my mother, who, by the way, is here tonight with me. You're awesome. Being that good brother to my sister, who's not here with us tonight. And being that good husband to my wife one day, whenever, God willing, makes that happen. All because my grandmother taught me to have manners and be a good gentleman. My hero taught me to have manners. What did your hero teach you? I told you about the 3 principles my grandmother instilled in my life. Have faith, have courage, and have manners. What are the principles that your heroes affected you with? Could it be the value of creativity, perseverance, spreading love and kindness? What are those principles? Whatever those principles are in your life, let's rise up and be the good heroes for the next generation to come. I believe that being the good heroes for the next generation is going to be a very critical thing, especially in the times that we're living in. I'm not saying that we're supposed to be perfect heroes. My grandma was far from perfect. But the thing is, she was such a good example at the way that she lived life with her principles that I honestly can't remember any of her bad behaviors. The poet Maya Angelou once said that people aren't going to remember the things you said or did, but they will remember how you made them feel. So let's rise up and be the good heroes by spreading the good feelings of love, peace, joyfulness, patience, kindness, self-discipline, or whatever those principles may be in your life. Fellow Toastmasters.